Hello everybody, Rombo here. Didn't have my volume on, but I caught you. Long time no here. Sorry about that. Had very incredibly busy last couple weeks, and so I'm sorry about that. I've been messing with new chart setup. Also, this looks kind of crazy. I'm not done with it yet, so bear with me. There's a bunch of funky things going on here, but long story short, these lines right here, as we know, are the deviation lines, and some of you might know of what they call multi-frame trends and multi-frame indicators. So it's one indicator that's lapped over. So long story short, I'm looking at these lines are on the daily chart here. These solid lines, though, are the deviation charts from the monthly chart. And I could have some other ones in here that would be dotted that would look exactly the same, except they're dashed lines, and that would be the weekly. But right now I just have the monthly deviations on here, and of course they're color coded. Also, the white is the average price, and the orange here is the one up and down deviation. So enough of that. That's what I'm messing with right now. I just want to go quickly again over everything. AAPT, we're still on the downtrend. We had, you had another rough day. AFRM downtrend. AXXA downtrend. Kind of sound like my last video, right? BOTY. It's just kind of bouncing, around. It's at 0004 right now. But again, I'm just waiting for it to do something. Doesn't look like it's going to. But I'll survive. Chara. Chara had a pullback. We're just about at the average or the means price here on the daily, and the monthly is right here. So we'll see. It looks like what I think it's going to do is it's going to it broke through. Now it's going to retest, and then the bulls are going to come back in. The bears will cover, and that would be one scenario. Or another one would be it breaks through the means, bounces back up, and then breaks back down, and then the bulls have to cover. So that creates what we call consolidation. That's what's going on here. Sybil just keeps going down. We are in this downward wedge, though. If we want to play it all the way out by the end of March, we should be down to 0.0065. And then we'll see what happens if it wants to break to the upside or not. But right now, that's the way it looks like it's going. DATS, again, in a downward wedge, waiting for it to break out. DPLS continues to go south. We're probably looking at now at 0.0109. DRCR broke out of this downward wedge. Now it looks like we're trying to work its way back up. So we'll see what's going on with DRCR in the next couple days. It looks like it's trying to bounce off the -1 deviation and find its way back up. So we'll see what happens the rest of the week with DRCR. Fern is still just going, straight down parallel. It's kind of working its way, getting closer. But I would not be surprised if we came down to the 0066 area before Fern jumps out. HDUP here, it's at about the one deviation up, working its way back down from the third, or 2.5, working its way down, still underneath the downtrend, but it looks like it's trying to stay up there. So we'll wait and see what happens. We're still above the money line here, the volume VWAP. So we'll keep a close eye out on that. Oh, good news today for ICOA. Nice move. It bounced right off of the -1 deviation here. And what, up 31.25% today. So that's great. It broke the downtrend line. Now, again, how many times do I have to say, just because we break that downtrend line does not mean that we're going to be continuing up. We could straddle, like I've told you many, many times before. We have a great day, we break out, and then the next day we could actually come back down again, and then have another big day, and then another one down. Next thing you know, we're down here again. So if you're in it, congrats. If you're not, just patience and see what happens with ICOA. If we break 0.0087 and finish above that, then it looks like we could possibly be coming up to 0.0117. But we'd have to hit and hold that, and we'll wait and see with ICOA. IDEX is just kind of consolidating right now. Nothing special going on with them. Still overall in a downtrend, but we're trying to get up above the average means price there. ILST, here we go. See, we went up, we gapped up, we broke the downtrend, and now here we're getting darn near right back on it. So it looks like ILST is trying to straddle, but good news is we're on the right side of the downtrend instead of the left side, so that's good news. But remember, this is only the secondary downtrend line. This is the primary way out here. So, but good news is we are still actually in an uptrend with ILST, so that's good news. And we'll see what's in store for ILST here in the next couple of days. ILS, it's a bitter pill to swallow, but she keeps on going away from the primary downtrend line. Here we had a great couple days and everyone's getting happy, and I said let's just wait until it starts breaking some trend lines, and now we're back down considerably again today, 13.7%. JPEX, pretty brutal downturn. It looks like it's trying to bottom out here, but we're still a considerable amount away from, the secondary downtrend line, let alone the primary. So that's a tough one. KAVL, I'm in at 288. Had a massive drop, trying to fight back. I'm in on this one. So we're inching our way back up to the second deviation or so. So the first. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to the first deviation plus up here. It does have a history of getting there, breaking it, and coming back down. This is a downtrend, so I'm being very careful with this. But there is this gap right here from 298 up to around 447. So I'm hanging on to see if that's going to get filled or not. So I'm holding out with KAVL. LCLP still long under the downtrend line here. So, but we're still overall in an uptrend. We're just under the first deviation. We're like at around -1.2 area here. So what's concerning, it did break this trend line right here. So you know what, I'm going to just retrace that. We'll put it right there. There we go. Okay. Kind of good news though is that it's forming this big massive downward wedge, which is 78% of the time it breaks to the bullish side. So we'll wait and see with LCLP. MJWL, You know, I wonder if I still have it on the weekly. Nope, I don't. So we had a bullish pattern running on that. I think I took that off when I redid my chart. So I'm sorry about that. But we did break under the -1 deviation here. Looks like we're working our way down to 1.5, which is also the -1 on the monthly. But the thing is, we are inching closer and closer to the downtrend line, which is a good sign for MJWL. But it might be a while. We're looking in, you know, if we go straight just sideways, we're looking at March 25th area. MONI came back down to -1 area. We'll take a wait and see what happens. If it did bounce off it here before, so we can wait and see what's going to happen with MONI and see if we can bounce and start going up again towards the well, first of all, to break the downward wedge and see if we can get to the average price with the MONI. MTTR had that big gap down, and it's just kind of parked down there. This is you know, a good area to get in, but you know, we're only 2.5 down. This could definitely keep going down, but it did break this downward wedge. So, or not wedge, I'm sorry, downward resistance trend line. And so see how steep this was? Here's really steep, and then it got less steep, and now it's starting to get even less steep. So that's a good sign for MTTR, that you know, eventually things might be turning for them, but it's going to take a while, guys. MWWC broke the downward trend, which again happens 18% of the time, and it definitely did that. I'm sure there's a lot of people bag holding on this one after this move right here, but we're in the negative, well, we're about the -1.2 area, and we're just on the monthly, or I'm sorry, the weekly support here. So if we could stay above 0.0037, this might you know, take a bounce here. NOVN, this one's still fighting to, you know, try to get some identity here. It had that really nice long 45-degree downturn. It did break to the upside. Now we kind of consolidated and had a rough day today, so it's still trying to make up its mind what it wants to do. It did hit and bounce off the plus 0.5 deviation before, and you know, here it got close to the 0.5, so this might be on the way down, or maybe we just had a bad rough couple of days in this consolidation and work our way up to maybe you know, a bigger jump up like that. So we'll wait and see with NOVN. Next, OWUV, One World Universe, a big spike up, and then here we are down. We had a nice little bull trap set up here, and now we're coming down. And guys, out of all this, we're not even at the -1 deviation yet on One World. So it's going to be you know, tough sledding until we break this downward trend resistance line here. I'm probably looking at 0.0771 before we see any kind of a change with that one. PJET again, it's, you know, it's slowly starting to, the downtrend is getting weaker and weaker, but you know, right here we did bounce off of the downward resistance trend line, and it's working its way down. I wouldn't be surprised to get down to 0.0012 with PJET before we see anything to do with that. Let's see here. TCDA. Wow, this is, I really got to change this, don't I? Here's the average line right here. Here's the average line for the weekly, and you know, looks like we try to get down here But if you look here's low, higher, here's a high, higher low, higher high. Right now we have a higher low. So we're sitting at 9.3, and I'm still seeing this nice little kind of wacky little bull here. I'm waiting to see if we could break this this $11 mark, and I could definitely see us getting up to the 18s here. So still just kind of keeping a close eye on TCDA. VRAR had a really rough one. I got stopped out. It's above the wedge again, so that's good news for VRAR. Maybe they'll have another good week, and I'm now going to wait for it to break that downward trend. I'm not going to get bit twice on VRAR. WNBD, again, is one of my long-term lotto picks, and right now she's not doing too well. But we'll see what happens. It's still overall in an uptrend, so we're just now in the -1 deviation. So let's see if that could get picked up. XELA, now we're on the weekly chart here, and I do have the reversal. I did get in at 0.7029. We're at 0.695 right now. So I was up, could have sold, but I'm waiting to see if this breaks. I don't want to get caught with my pants down here, because this has a history of some major moves, both up and down. Personally, I don't think there's too much of a major move to the downside, even though with this economy and what's going on in the world, like I said, guys, you've seen the charts in my last video and in this one. Most of them, they're all under downtrends. So just be careful with your money. Have stop losses. Choose wisely. Do your due diligence. Don't listen to me. I'm just an old man upstairs sitting in a dark room looking at 3 monitors, and I'm trying to do my best to educate you guys and to help us all learn together, and just kind of giving you an idea where things could go. They could obviously go up, sideways, or down. So we've got a 33% chance of getting it right here, depending on also what chart you're on. If you're on the weekly chart, the daily chart, that all matters too, depending on what kind of trade you're trying to get into. Just a daily chart or intraday, for the day, quick scalp, things of that nature. That determines your strategy. And remember, I always say, plan your trade and then trade your plan. Know where you want to get in, what day you want to get in, when you want to get out, what time you want to get out, your stop loss. All the stop loss, a lot of people, I've heard some people just recently, they got into a stock and then they asked me where I should put, where they should put their stop loss. And I'm like, that's all got to be figured out before you get in. And where your stop loss is determines how much money you put into the trade. So just be careful with that stuff, guys. It's pretty dangerous right now, playing especially OTCs. But generally, overall, things are getting tough. Personally, I would be shorting the SPY right now. And I hope you guys had a really good weekend and a good holiday weekend. And now we're back to the grindstone. So you guys take care, have a really good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.